Hello and welcome to the podcast. I can really do that. I'm Alena Skinner, your host. This is the podcast where we explore careers and opportunities for people with disabilities from the perspective of people with disabilities. Today, I would like to introduce to you Wyatt Peterson. He is currently working with first through fifth graders at the Boys and Girls Club. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Wyatt, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm 19 years old. I have spina bifida, and I've been working at the Boys and Girls Club for about 6 months, I believe. So
Can you tell me a little bit about what the Boys and Girls Club is?
yeah, it's like split up into like two kind of groups. So like you have the junior side, which is like elementary kids, and then you have the teen side, which is like middle school and high schoolers. So for me, I work with the junior side. And so what a typical day consists of is like obviously it's cold now, like the winter. So like we would normally go outside like in the summer, but we just stay inside, go in the gym, play basketball or dodgeball, or like we can do arts and crafts or like even watch movies and just do, you know, just fun activities and games and stuff.
That's cool that there's a program out there to support kids in that way.
Yeah.
Um, how did you get interested in working here?
So funny enough, I went there when I was a kid, like when I was younger as a student. So like I've always like knew what it was like there, like and the layout and stuff. And I was like and I've always been told I work great with like younger kids. And so I thought, hey, might as well, I was there when I was a kid, so might as well see what it's like to be a staff there. So far it's been going great.
That's great, and I love that you're giving back to something that
Yeah.
you have benefited from and have been able to make a great impact in those kids' lives. Um, so I know you from sled
Hmm.
hockey.
Yeah.
Um, do you want to kind of bring that up and talk a little bit about like what that has brought you through?
Yeah, I mean, hockey, like obviously, it's a great sport to play, and to meet different kids and adults too. Some with the same disability, some, with not. But just like, making friendships and like building relationships and also seeing what other people's lives consist of and like what they do for work and, just seeing other people and how they live their lives too.
Yeah.
Kind of
Um,
cool.
yeah, sorry.
Nice.
Do you think that playing a sport has been has made you more able to connect with kids?
Um, I mean, sort of in a way, because like as like my teammates, I'm on the adult team now, but I still have friends who are on the youth team. So like I talk to them still, and I mean same goes with other teams too. Um, I like, through social media too, like I talk to them through that. So that's really a cool thing to do. So I think, yeah, it
Yeah,
helps too.
yeah, I think um just just knowing you as a person, you working with kids, I definitely agree that you'd
Mhm.
be really good with that. You have a
Yeah.
lot of patience and
Yeah.
so
Yeah. The kids at the Boys and Girls Club definitely take test my patience for sure.
Yeah, patience is definitely a skill.
Yeah.
Um, how so we talked about how you got interested in your career choice, but and you kind of brought this up, but when did you realize the moment of I can totally do that?
Honestly, it was honestly when I first started there, because like, you know, kids are most likely not used to seeing a person in a wheelchair, work at your or the place that you go to every day after school or whatever. And so like and like, it's weird for them, but like weird for me too in a way, because like I have to have the mindset of like, okay, they don't know what it's like to see a person, in a wheelchair at work or whatever. And so of course, I get the question, why are you in a wheelchair? Like, what happened to you? And like, which is fine. I don't mind that. But I just say it's like, it's complicated and that you'll, you'll know when you're older, kind of thing. So,
Yeah, and and obviously I well, at least this is how I take it, is like if I'm gonna see this person like for a long time, I'm going to sit down and explain it. But if it's like this person off the street going, okay, what happened to you? I'll be like, mm, I mean, I'll tell you, but like that may have not
yeah,
been the most respectful. And I think what I love about kids, I don't know how you feel, but I love their curiosity and maybe their bluntness too. Like,
yeah. I definitely like, obviously I get why they ask, but like, you know, I do say like I have a disability called spina bifida, where like it affected my spine when I was born, and because I know like I don't explain a whole lot because obviously I know they won't understand it too. Um, but like I like to teach them about a little bit about spina bifida as well.
that's cool. Yeah, I think you're definitely opening their eyes to a whole new world that they wouldn't have expected.
Yeah.
Um, so why do you feel it's important to have people with disabilities in your career?
Um, Kind of just like having a new like perspective in a way for like other or for like the kids, but also like your coworkers and colleagues because they might not know what it's like to work with people in wheelchairs or like disabilities in general. Um, but I think it's a great way for them to start learning if they don't know it yet. Um, but yeah, I think it
Yeah,
benefits them too.
and they get to see all the interesting ways that we work and that but also like the similarities between us, right?
Right.
Like building the bridge and not making it a you against me, but okay, we both work at the same thing. I just may do it differently.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about what you do in your everyday career. But what is maybe you can either answer that question or what is your favorite thing to do?
Like my favorite thing to do in regards of my career,
Correct.
um, like at the BGC, I love to, get to know the kids and like talk to them and, be there for them when they need it. And just, I know what it's like to, be lonely sometimes or like if they need help with something, I like to be
Yeah.
there for them.
And that yeah, I really appreciate that because I think as much as we build connections as people with disabilities, I think it also can be really lonely. And I don't know if you agree with that statement, but
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I think there's there's the good parts and the bad parts, but I think
Hmm.
you can also build the bridge using the bad parts or the not so fun parts.
Right.
So how long have you said you were working the Boys and Girls Club?
So I've been working at the Boys and Girls Club for about 6 months, I believe. So since like June.
That's cool. Um, so I'm not sure like how well you could answer this, or maybe you have something in mind, but your greatest accomplishment in your career?
Um, Honestly, yeah, that's kind of a hard question. You try to think.
Or maybe a or maybe a something that you learned that you didn't expect you were gonna learn.
Um, I do like, I guess an accomplishment would be like, you know, it may be little, but just like being there for kids and like teaching them about, or like saying what happened to me, or like why I'm in a chair.
Yeah.
Just I know it kind of is a little a disappointing answer, but I mean,
No, that's great.
yeah. So I
Um,
think
sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're fine.
Um, yeah, so do you think like that has like positively impacted your view of like yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see myself like, you know, not normal in a way, but like everyone's not normal,
Yeah.
everyone is unique in their own way. And I definitely see like I've definitely gotten, less hard on myself because I feel like I blame my disability for a lot of things, but you know, just being grateful you know, for what I do have and just, you know, just like getting um a better understanding in a way too of like a disability and like, just learning things too every day. So,
Yeah. Um, do you um so on the other end of the spectrum, is there something that has really disappointed you in your career?
um, honestly, no. I expect yeah, I expect kids to not know what happened to me, like why I'm in a chair, like if I have a disability, like that's fine if they don't know. Like they're not supposed to know. I just don't go around telling people, hey, I have spina bifida, to everyone. But I wouldn't say there's not really any disappointment.
Do you how are your coworkers? Like,
They're all really nice. You know, like they're there for me when I need it. Like if I need help with something, I'm there when they need help. Um, we work together really well. And like a lot of like some of them I knew from school, like high school. And so that kind of helps too. Because a lot of people that work there are like college kids. And so like we're all young and which it helps too. And just,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, so do you have any your part of your career modified to accommodate your disability?
I mean, I wouldn't say like it's modified really, but like they tend to put me places where like it's better for me to like roll around and like get places. Um, like trying to think like the gym is not a hard place to get around, but like outside is kind of harder to get around on the grass and stuff. Um, but I would say like the whole facility itself is like accessible and like I can get around. Like if obviously if I can't reach something up high, I ask for help. Because that does happen a lot. Um, but other than that, I don't think anything really is modified.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're conscientious of that because
Yeah,
I'm thinking about the winter and if they were to like I know I have trouble in my chair
yeah.
in the winter, so I'm glad there's like different spaces
Hmm.
um to do that. Um so we kind of talked about this. Obviously you just asked for help, but say if there was a person, I mean, obviously you have a physical disability and you have a wheelchair that's very visual. But how do you like ask for help in a professional manner if the person you know wasn't aware of your situation or
Hmm.
just kind of was oblivious, I guess.
Yeah. Honestly, I just be straight up with them, be like, hey, this is what I need. This is what I can't do. Um, so if I need help, I need help. Um, just being straight up with them and just also teaching them how I get around and how I work as well. And just, that kind of thing. Just being straight up.
Yeah. Um is this your first um like for first job or first kind of
So this is my second job. I previously worked at a movie theater here in town, for about almost 2 years, I think. And I would say I definitely prefer the Boys and Girls Club, just because it keeps me more busy and just keeps me, I guess, I don't know, aware of things.
yeah. Um would you say that so from my understanding you're still working on what you would like to do in the future, is that correct?
Yeah, yep.
Um do you think um your experience at the Boys and Girls Club will kind of help your decision in what you choose to do in the future, or are you know, this was a great experience, but I'm gonna do something else?
Hmm. I definitely think I want to do something with kids. At least that's what I want to as of like right now. So that's definitely a great experience for me. Um, like I still want to work at the Boys and Girls Club for at least, you know, the whole year this year, or at least until, else something else happens. But I think that working at the Boys and Girls Club helps tremendously.
Yeah. Um, so what advice would you give to somebody with a disability who wants to pursue your career?
You know, I would say, just, just do it. Get in contact with, whoever it is that you want to work for. Just be like, hey, I'm so and so. I have a disability called blah blah blah, whatever it is. Just, work with them on how you want to work and succeed in that job, and also, like keeping a good relationship with them, or just like, just be upfront. And if you're scared to ask, just don't be afraid. The worst they can say is like, no. Well, I mean, yeah. Um, I know that's easier said than done, but like, um, you know, I've I've had chances where I could have done something, but then I don't do it because I'm scared of what they think, and then regret not doing it later on. So I would say take that chance and just go for it.
I love that. Um,
Hmm.
the worst that they can say is no, and then
Yeah.
somebody should make a T-shirt out of that. Somebody,
Yeah, all right.
all the worst that they can say is no. Dot dot
Yeah.
dot in small letters, or maybe not.
Or yeah, or maybe not.
But truly, like, that concept is there. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be.
Right.
Um, I am curious though about your interview process. Um, I mean, obviously you don't know anything different from somebody who doesn't have a disability, because
Hmm.
all we have lived are having a disability.
Right.
But do you think that you had you had a benefit, um or, kind of
Um,
talk about the interview process of getting there?
so like honestly, I don't think I had any benefits. Because I feel like the person who hires you has to follow like a rule, be like, hey, be nice to so and so no matter who it is. And I mean, obviously that's straightforward, but like I don't think I had any benefits, because I know my interview process was weirder compared to other places. Um, but I mean, I don't think I don't think I had any benefits.
What do you mean by weirder?
So like I didn't technically get like interviewed, because the two people that were like in charge of like hiring me, they thought they each did it, or like they thought the other one did it, but no one ever did. So that kind of got mixed up and messed things up. But one of the guys who worked there, he doesn't work there anymore, unfortunately, but he knew me from when I was a kid there. So he also knew what I was like. And so I think him having that trust in me and seeing that I can work there, I mean, also kind of helped. But I mean, other than that, I don't think.
Yeah, that that's that's kind of hilarious that they were like, um no, I did it. No, you did
Yeah,
it. Oh, we didn't do it.
yeah,
Um
none of them did it, but
but to that guy's credit, it's it's kind of a lesson of, you never know, like, just be respectful and be, who you are
mhm,
in a lot of your situations, because you never know who will positively or negatively um
right.
help you.
Yeah.
Um Is there anything else that you would like to bring up?
Um, no, I don't think so.
No? Okay. Um, do you have do you have any like role models or like um thing things that like people have taught you that you're like, oh, that's kind of neat?
Um, in a way, I guess, like how, to like interact with the kids. Because like if they're upset, don't consistently ask them what's wrong because they're upset. And so they'll talk when they'll want to talk. And like, just being respectful of their spaces as well. And, just being kind, you know,
Yeah.
just the normal stuff.
Yeah. Um, kindness really does is is the whole on all sides. The kids need to be kind. You need to be kind. Your coworkers need to be kind.
Right.
Um, yeah. So I know you don't know what you want to do, but I is there like something if you had no limits, no
Mm.
like weren't worried about anything, is there something that you would totally jump into?
I do feel like I'm a very active person, so I feel like I want to do something with sports at least. Um, yeah, like something with sports or kids. Because I play a lot of sports and you know I work with kids, so I guess
Um,
either of those two.
tell me about the sports that you play.
So as you know, I play sled hockey, of course, and then here in lacrosse, there's a I think it's like I don't like a not like a fundraiser, but like a program, yeah, a program that works with people in general, not just kids, people with disabilities. Uh, so it's like there's a group for just wheelchair users, and then there's a separate group for like more cognitive disabilities. And so like every month we do like it happens every Sun. I mean, there's programs every day, but the ones that I do are on Sundays. And so like we've done wheelchair football, wheelchair basketball, pickleball, tennis, lacrosse. Um, I know there's more, but those are the ones that I've done. So, and that helps a lot too.
What's your um what's your favorite one?
Definitely football. I like the
I
aggressiveness.
That's cool. Can you I don't know, I guess I've never seen wheelchair
Mm.
football. Can you kind of explain that?
So for us, like we do it differently than maybe like the bigger like programs because like we don't play with pads. We just obviously have the ball and that's about it. And then we have sports chairs too where the wheels are slanted. Um, and just play offense defense. We don't hit. Obviously, we just do like a two-hand touch or whatever. Um, some people that play with me are more aggressive and than others. There's this guy who I play with. His name's Tristan. He also plays sled hockey. He falls out of his chair a lot because he doesn't have a seatbelt. I don't know why. But it's just super funny to see him fall and it's a blast though.
He kind of falls a lot in stud hockey too, so
Yeah, yeah, he's aggressive, that's for sure. No matter the sport.
passion.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That's really funny. I
Yeah,
will have to look into wheelchair football because I've never seen that.
yeah, it's
I
awesome.
played wheelchair tennis
Oh, yeah,
and I really liked that, but
yeah.
I don't have big enough hands to hold
Oh,
the racket and push my wheelchair.
mm,
Um yeah. So that was an experience.
yeah.
Um is there like is there anything that kind of um kind of surprised you about being a a person with a disability, or just a person for that matter, being in the workforce that you weren't necessarily expecting?
Obviously, you never know how things will turn out, but you know, just how it's been turning out is be like, wow, that's awesome, and like that's I'm glad that I can do this, and I'm glad that I'm in the situation that I'm in. And yes, there are bad days, but there's also good days. You know, just being thankful for what you can do, disability or not. But like your podcast, like wow, I can do that. Like, you know,
Yeah. Um yeah, I think that's kind of all that I have for you.
okay.
Um is there I know I kind of alluded to that a few minutes ago and then I
Mm.
just kept um
No, you're okay.
talking. Um so in terms of like um kind of future goals, or you're still trying to figure that out and you're
Mm,
working with kids and you have like a really positive experience with that, and you're making a great impact. um
mm,
yeah, I think that you're doing something great, and I hear a lot about the Boys and Girls Club,
mm,
but I don't like I didn't know anybody who like worked
mm.
there. Do
Yeah.
you do you work do you work almost every day?
So it depends. This week I work almost every day. Today is the only day I'm off, Wednesday. Otherwise, like it depends also with like, like doctor's appointments or like other things that I already have going on. But normally I work about 2 days a week. Um, but I think that'll change this month. Um, but I like where like how I'm scheduled, and I've worked with my boss on that too, which is nice. But yeah.
Without depending on how you want to tell me a little bit about like how you're scheduled, and maybe why you chose to be scheduled that way.
Um, I don't honestly, I feel like it's just when I'm most like less busy, um, which is gonna change this month because of other obligations I have going on. Um, but the schedule comes out monthly, and so I say, hey, I can't work this day, or like here are the days I can't work this month, or just kind of that stuff and that thing.
Yeah, so advocating for yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
um yeah, and I think you are really lucky to have a great boss who is
yeah,
willing to work with you.
for sure.
um yeah, anything else, or any other advice or yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad I
Um
did this.
yeah, I appreciate your willingness to come along on the ride of
Yeah,
learning how to do this.
of course.
Um Wyatt, you have shown us that you can totally do that, and so can others. Thank you for coming today and sharing your experiences. This is your host, Alena Skinner, saying thank you to all of you for your time. Join us for the next podcast. I can totally do that.